Hello, welcome to my channel. Fuck Jassa.
And mine, I guess.
And
at least down
Cersei's.
here. To a degree.
Yeah, Jassa's on the hats already because D&D was canceled. So with apologies to those of you in the Twitch chat, I will not be able to actually like type in the Twitch chat because Restream logged me out on OBS, and that's one of those like it's glitchy enough that like to log back in is enough of a hassle.
It's so hard to fucking log in
because the login with Google button doesn't work, so you have to actually like completely disconnect OBS from your account, and then
does it do the thing where you click on login with Google and then it takes you to a blank page?
Yeah,
and the page will never populate.
Yep,
that's what happens with me too.
I'm glad that's not a me problem.
Nope. That's a common problem with Streamlabs.
Is Fennec in Hawaii? Are you on vacation, Fennec? That's awesome. I want to go to Hawaii, but I'm going to Mexico this year. No,
yeah.
No. At home. I'm sorry.
See, when you said no, my brain immediately thought, oh, he's saying no, Cyrus, you can't come.
No. There's a Caitlin Chloe in the chat over on YouTube.
Oh, hell yeah.
I happen to know that both of us are going to be in Sarnia, Ontario this weekend. So that's fun. Oh,
okay.
Pernada, welcome to Basic. Ya basic, Pernada. I haven't gotten to say that in a while.
Just need that that moment from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yeah,
the doctor thinks you're basic.
I've got terrible news for you. The diagnosis has come back. You've got terminal basicness. Basicosity? Basicitis.
We now understand. You're a white woman who likes ranch on everything. You're basic.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in news we're not covering today, I don't want to talk about the boxer in the Olympics. Because that whole thing is just dumb.
It was very dumb. And
so dumb.
I'm thankful we don't have to talk about it because I already made a video on it.
Good. Because, like, okay, if you really need to know my position, it's that it's none of my business. It's none of your business. It's none of the right-wing nutjobs business.
My position is, unlike certain people who I have laughed at privately with friends of mine about, unlike certain people who have inserted their nose.
If we're thinking of the same person, there might be
we're thinking of the same person.
There might be a screenshot that I like threw in.
Oh boy,
just for fun.
Fun.
We are actually going to talk about it a little bit,
But my position is, despite the fact that there's several people who have gone, they failed a gender test. Well, no, they failed a testosterone test.
No. They didn't even say what test it was. Didn't even say what test it was.
And it was by the IBA, which no longer is credited with doing any fucking shit with the Olympics.
They were too corrupt for the IOC.
Yep.
Just let that sink in.
Which means, not only did the one test that they fail not account for all the tests that they did not fail in the years prior, did not account for the tests that they did not fail this year, that the Olympics literally went, hey, so we did do a test, but we're not telling any of you chuckle fucks the specifics about it.
Yeah, you don't get to know someone's private medical records.
Yeah. So despite the fact that we have all the evidence that things are A-okay on that front. Nope.
Sorry. Progress only distracted me because I got another email from them. They are, I think that was a preliminary vote of some kind or whatever. They got like 50% of the vote. And like the next highest candidate got like 24% of the vote. So Progress only going to be on city commission, I think.
Yeah, excellent.
So congratulations on that.
And notice that Progress Only has been using their, I believe, their IRL name on Twitter now, which I think might have something to do with the race there. I don't know.
I know. I'm pretty sure that I've said their name on channel here, and they've like said it themselves in the chat. So like, I'm not concerned about doxing, but I'm paranoid about that sort of shit. So I just when in doubt, I do not say shit.
There is one thing about the Olympics that I do want to bring up very quickly. To be a pole vaulter from France and have the best bragging rights anyone has ever had in reality.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see there was like a TikTok or whatever, like some guy in the military was like, "Oh, in the military we have a term for this. It's called blah or whatever. I forget the word, but it's like that's when you know, you win a victory, but the sacrifice in winning that victory was so great that it may as well be a loss." And so he lost the pole vault, but he won the pole size or something like that. It's just like, it's like
also I will just say, now I can make the joke. Republicans wish they could interfere with polls as much as random French pole vaulters can.
Pyrrhic victory is that.
Won the poll size, the no poll size.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing for that. It's just but yeah, that was fun. Also, I'm sorry to those of you who sent me news items. One of them, Pocket wasn't playing nicely with my news sources today, and normally I take my notes in Pocket. But it wasn't really working, and so I know that at least one of the stories that I chose was sent to me, and it wasn't by my anonymous source for once, so I feel bad actually forgetting this time. I want to say her name was Victoria, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it started with a V. But yeah, my notes just disappeared when I was about to go live. I'm like, oh, whoopsies. So yeah, thank you for sending me the news items. Sorry that I'm not crediting you properly. If you have news items and you want me to forget to credit you, you can send them to news@vicerhino.com.
Yay!
So things are a bit out of pocket. Thank you for reacting to my magnificent pun, Cirrus. You're not helping to Shah.
Look, there's only two ways to deal with dad jokes. It is either to recognize the absolute pain that they have put you through, or to ignore them entirely.
Okay.
Or to be generally oblivious enough that it could be one or the other, and who knows.
Yeah. Oh, so you're apparently transitioning to doing our kind of content face cam full time instead of VTube?
Yeah, for the time being.
So I'm gonna need you to send me like a folder of you making like Mr. Beast thumbnail faces.
Just
yeah, exactly. I actually, so for one of the videos that's coming out next week, I forget what it was, but like I wanted to have like a picture of me like eating popcorn or whatever. And I was working on the thumbnail so early in the morning, and I made a bag of popcorn. I'm like, I can't let it go to waste, but I don't really want it right now.
So you just have random bag of popcorn, I guess.
No. I gave the kids half the bag, but I still ate the other half.
Fair, I guess.
That's how I roll. Okay.
Fair, I guess.
Alrighty. Let's look at some articles.
Sure.
So Elon Musk's Twitter sues advertisers over alleged massive advertiser boycott after Twitter takeover.
Oh boy.
So
wait, hold on. This is the same guy who, in an interview that has been going around the internet a shit ton, literally said, "We don't want you advertising on our platform.
Fuck off," were his exact words.
Fuck off. These people are financially blackmailing me with money.
Yeah.
Like, wait, well, hold on. Well, which do you want? Do you want them to advertise on your platform so that you're upset with them boycotting? Or do you want them to boycott and leave so that they're not doing that thing? Man, this sounds like the most divorced fucking man in the world. This is what the most divorced person in the world does and says. Like, actually, you didn't take the kids with you. I disowned them.
Elon, fuck off. Advertisers, okay. Elon, I'm suing you for fucking off. Yeah, so, well, I mean, so apparently this is about a boycott that happened before he told them to fuck off. But I feel like that's still going to come up in court, being like, he clearly doesn't need our revenue since he told us to fuck off, even though that's not necessarily the event that he's referring to. So like that comment's going to bite him in the butt. But yeah, so Elon Musk's social media platform X has sued a group of advertisers alleging that a massive advertiser boycott deprived the company of billions of dollars in revenue and violated antitrust laws. So guy who is allegedly a free speech absolutist is now suing companies to force them to coerce their speech. And since we know from Supreme Court rulings that corporations are people,
yep,
this is compelled speech of people, I guess. Not really people. They're not really people, but if we're going to expect consistency out of the right wing, they're people.
We should just start referring to corporations as people. Like, we get to just start playing the dehumanizing game with them. Because they're not people in the first place, so I mean, it's not really dehumanizing.
Yeah, they if anything needs dehumanization, it's corporations.
110%.
I like how they call it the company formerly known as Twitter. It's like, and this is Associated Press. Like they are professional in everything. Like they are so professional that they retracted their fact check of JD Vance fucking a couch.
JD Vance did not fuck a couch. Well, technically, we don't really know. I mean, he might have, possibly. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, what if the couch is soft? You know, like it's right there.
If it's a leather couch, it's soft and supple. You put some lube in the cracks.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, like at that point, it's just taking care of it, right?
Karen Tuplin says, "Hello, I'm here until the cat decides to come back inside."
Entirely reasonable.
That is relatable. Yeah. Yeah. So Linda Yaccarino, CEO, said, "Oh yeah." First, Musk posted about the lawsuit, saying, "Now it's war after 2 years of being nice and getting nothing but empty words."
That video was weird.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, like. Advertisers don't owe you their money. Like, okay. Little bit of a tangent. Raycon earbuds. They sponsored me a while ago. I got these buds for free. Other creators that they've sponsored, they've gone on to sponsor them long term for several months, sometimes several years. I got the one sponsorship deal that was 2 videos, and they never came back to me for more.
That happens.
Yeah. I have no grounds to sue them for that because they do not owe me their advertising dollars. They do not owe me buying space for them on my platform. Now, if they did come back to me, I'd absolutely take that, because even though Raycons are known for having absolute shit audio quality, I'm not an audiophile and I don't care, but I will tell you, these guys just went through the washing machine and they're fine. They survived. It twice. Like, it was one of those situations where, like, we put the load of laundry on and then forgot about it and came back a couple days later and it's like, oh, now it's smelling kind of musty, so we got to put it on again. So these things survive being washed twice in succession without getting a chance to dry off, and they're fine.
Man, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that does that.
And I actually, for their ad, I wanted to do a bit where I because they advertise water resistance, they don't advertise waterproof. But I wanted to do a bit where it's like, okay, well, these are the earbuds that I use in the shower. And so I was going to do a thing with that. And they actually told me, no, don't do that. We don't want you to advertise that you use them in the shower, because then people are going to think they can use them in the shower. And I'm like, you know what? They have physical buttons and they survive the washing machine. So I don't care that the sound quality is technically not that great, because I'm not an audiophile.
Yeah, you can hear things in it and it's fine. It's like when people get upset at Blue Yetis. Like, Blue Yetis are perfectly serviceable microphones.
Yeah, my channel survived on a Blue Yeti for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, mine survived on a Blue Yeti for a long time too. Like, it's a perfectly reasonable microphone to utilize. I don't think there's for most YouTubers, for most applications, there is no reason to upgrade away from a Blue Yeti. The gains that you get past that have such diminishing returns that it's kind of crazy. Like the only types of people who benefit from doing that particular upgrade are people who all of their content is like this and it needs to be perfectly clear
The
at all
NPR
times.
voice.
Yeah, they need that voice where it's basically political ASMR.
So my arm's not big enough to get it, but I have the Shure SM7B. The only reason I have this is because somebody bought it for me. I also have an $800 lens on my camera that somebody bought that for me too. I threw it on my wish list as like, I will want to remember this in like 10 years when I have enough money that like spending that kind of money on a lens will be an acceptable thing. And it just showed up on my front doorstep one day. Yeah. I was so fucking excited when that showed up. Progress Only says Raycons are not good for the quality. You can get Anchor brand ones for like half the price on sale. Yeah. So guess what? I actually have the Anchor brand ones as well because I lose headphones all the fucking time. That's how the Raycons ended up in the wash. I very much doubt that the Anchor ones would survive the wash. They haven't gone through it yet, but I don't think they would survive. But also, I like that the Raycons have physical buttons, not capacitive touch ones, because a lot of times when I'm listening to stuff, I will be like washing dishes or something. And more than once with the Anchor ones, the capacitive touch, you touch it to pause, and then a little drop of water stays there, and it's like, oh, you are holding it to turn up the volume, and now my eardrums are blown out. So yeah, I'm not going to say the Anchor ones are shit, because like if you're used to, because like everything's capacitive touch now. That's actually one of the reasons why like the Raycons are my favorite, not necessarily because they are better than the other ones, but because they have a button that only gets pressed when I actually press it. So yeah. And they haven't given me money. I should sue them. This is an advertisement for them, and they haven't paid me, so I'm suing them, just like Elon Musk is suing his guys. Except they didn't even advertise on him. Like, I don't know, whatever. I have a better case than Elon Musk does for what I just did.
It's a giant, confusing mess. Man, I really wish he had never bought Twitter.
Progress Only says, I'd like a Shure. I don't need a Shure. Yep. Exactly. Like I think the one that this replaced was like a Rode. It was an entry level, better than the Blue Yeti. But you're not gonna see like Taylor Swift recording an album with this one, whereas with the Shure you might.
Yeah, my Samson Q2 is a dynamic mic that's one of those like. It's got USB and XLR. You can use it whichever one happens to fit your fancy. And it's very much one of those like you buy it for $120 because it's technically better than a Blue Yeti, and you might have a sound system to put it into.
So Sakura says because a $40 mic that works is enough. Absolutely. I started my channel with it was a $20 crappy Amazon Chinese brand USB condenser mic.
Was it Fifine?
I don't remember. But it came in a kit with the really, really bad boom arm that like squeaks when you move it.
Yep. It's got all the springs in it and everything. Yeah. There was a mic company that sponsored me really early on into my channel, and it was Fifine. And I found that they do their mics the same way. Like, here's a condenser mic that is like, it's like a tiny bit tinnier than a Blue Yeti in terms of audio quality, but it's still very serviceable. So I shot an entire video using just their microphone instead of my Yeti that I'd been using for the longest time, and found that it was super non-noticeable, especially when you have like background music like I've had for years. Yep. It's super hard to tell any of that tinniness at all in any of the content. So I was like, yeah, no, this is the kind of mic that I can just suggest to people who are starting out, because not only do they get a mic, but they're also getting a kit with the mic. The kit sucks, and the mic technically sucks. But like, if the option is that or spend $100 on a Yeti, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
There's one of those options is better. It's not the Yeti.
Yep. So anyway, the lawsuit allegations center on the early days of Musk's takeover and not a more recent dispute with advertisers that came last year, or came a year later.
An earlier temper tantrum, not the current one.
Mm-hmm. I love the way they phrase this. Says a number of advertisers began fleeing X over concerns about their ads showing up next to pro-Nazi content and hate speech on the site in general, with Musk inflaming tensions with his own posts endorsing an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. This next part is the best. Musk later said those fleeing advertisers were engaging in blackmail and, using a profanity, essentially told them to go away.
Using a profanity.
Using a profanity. Way to dance around.
Man, there's a word for that. It's a very particular word for what profanity he used.
I'm just picturing, like, yeah, if you have a quota or something on how much profanity you're allowed to use, you like walk in and like, I will take one profanity, please.
I mean, that's like how PG-13 movies are rated in the United States. They're allowed one instance of the word fuck.
Yeah. So fun fact, I think it was X-Men First Class when Hugh Jackman's cameo in that, he did that on the condition that he got to use the one F-bomb they were allowed.
Yep.
So that's why when Magneto and Charles walk up to him, he just says fuck off and then they leave. That's why. He used a profanity.
One profanity, please. Just one. Man, if there's one thing I would love about shooting movies, it would be being in the conversation of where we are technically allowed to place the fuck. Where would we get the most bang for our fuck?
I'm sorry, Luigi. I didn't see your joke, but yes, Luigi said I would like one profanity, please.
Just one.
Just one. Yeah, that was great. But speaking of Hugh Jackman, did you see the Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes, I did. I went on a date night with Saki this last Sunday and watched it.
We went on Thursday. Yeah. How did you find it?
I liked it a lot.
George
it
Carlin's
was
7 swears joke here.
So it felt like you watched No Way Home, right?
Nope.
You didn't watch Spider-Man No Way Home?
Nope.
Okay. So I was going to say...
I have not seen a single Marvel movie since Endgame. This was the first one.
Damn. Because I was going to say that it felt like watching No Way Home again, but for, a different style of movie. Because you know what happens in No Way Home, I'm hoping, right? Like, it's kind of all over the internet.
No.
Do you care if I spoil it for you?
No.
The Spider-Men from the first 2 Spider-Man franchises come in and integrate into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have seen a clip of this where where what's his face shows up and they actually like have a pause in the movie because they're expecting the people in the theater to clap. But it's like, if you're watching it just at home on TV, it's like, why is there a pause there?
And I watched it in theaters and there was a clap when Tobey Maguire showed up. 110%.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm not spoiling this for anybody who's not seen this all over the internet. Fuck off. But watching Deadpool and Wolverine felt a little bit like that when there was the sequence where all of the other forgotten Marvel characters came on screen. Like that was, It was a lot of that where I was like,
yeah. So
this is for people who liked the old Marvel movies 100%.
So my take on it, and my partner shares this view, is that it was a fun movie. It was enjoyable. Like I'm not expecting high art from the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. But it's not a movie that, like, if you see it in isolation 50 years from now, will make any sense.
It's a movie that is entirely based on the culture of the movies around it.
Yeah.
And not just the culture of the movies around it in the MCU. It's based on the 90s and early 2000s Marvel ventures.
Have you seen the Ryan George pitch meeting for it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so one of the things is like, like they're talking about all the cameos or whatever, and like, and we got Channing Tatum to play Gambit. And wait, Channing Tatum didn't play Gambit. No, but he was going to, so this is going to be a great cameo for people that followed casting news very closely in 2015. It was.
I
I
I've
love
got to
Ryan
say
George. Ryan George is the greatest.
that was I will say his take on Gambit though.
It was very good. Yes.
It was perfect for all of, especially for all of the memes that have come out of just his awful fake accent
Yes.
for the character.
The accent was just beautiful.
Oh,
it was
I'm about to make a name for myself.
But that's the thing though. So my partner and I do not follow casting news very, very closely. So we're like, there's this movie just full of all these cameos. Why are they getting Channing Tatum for Gambit? Why not the guy who actually played Gambit? And then it wasn't until we got home that it was like, oh, that's right. He was supposed to play Gambit, but they canceled that movie.
So in Yu-Gi-Oh, we don't get a ton of new cards now. Like we still do, but a lot of what Konami tries to do with Yu-Gi-Oh is they'll go, here's the new fresh cards, and also here's some support for Dark Magician because you liked that 30 years ago. Here's some support for Harpy Ladies because we didn't know how to make decks back then, but we do now. So buy these cards and you can play this stuff that you saw on TV when you were a kid. Don't you like it? So there's this meme going around that's just Yu-Gi-Oh players when their favorite old washed up archetype gets a couple new cards of support. Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself now.
But that's the thing. I kind of want to see it again because like all of those jokes about him, like, because I remember he was like, he's talking so much about like how he's going to be remembered and everything. Like, and I was sitting there feeling like I wasn't getting the joke, and indeed I wasn't. But now I feel like I need to go back and see it again. My partner's favorite cameo was Ryan Reynolds' wife was Lady Deadpool, and she never took her mask off. But like, as soon as she came out, she's like, "Oh, I bet you that's his wife."
I think my favorite thing where the movie was concerned was it was, I mean, obviously the first two Deadpool movies were like this, but I like that they moved away from just Deadpool's the guy that knocks on the fourth wall all the time, and they went,
Yeah.
no, the jokes are going to be very meta humor. Like if you understand some of the culture around this shit, you're going to get the joke, and it's going to be very funny. And I think that's way funnier than just Deadpool knocking on the.
We're spoiling things for Van Briggs. So
can you guys do a thumbs up when done talking about Deadpool? Fair.
Yeah. Okay. We can stop talking about it now. Let's. Okay, Van Briggs, you can come back now. I'm sorry.
Rhapsody says, sounds like Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge darts. I need you to find Yugi Matao and cut his deck in half.
Yeah. Okay. So Musk used a profanity, and then Unilever, one of the companies that is named in the lawsuit, in their statement, they were like, "Yeah, no platform has a right to our advertising dollar. Like, we're not boycotting you because some group told us to. We're just like, no."
Yeah.
And being a YouTuber who takes sponsorships, sometimes people say no to me. Also, being a YouTuber who takes sponsorships, sometimes I say no to people. That's the real fun part.
I've had no less than 2 propositions from an NFT game called Big Time. And each time I'm just
as soon as you said NFT game, I'm like, oh, no, absolutely not.
Just like, y'all are barking up the wrong tree. I'm sorry.
So there's actually a third-party game controller maker that is trying to, like, they're like, oh, hey, give me your address and stuff, and I'll send you a free controller. And I'm debating whether or not to actually respond to them, because like one of the issues there is that I think they want me to do just a review video. I'm like, no, that's not going to be good for me, and that's not going to be good for you, because like that's not my channel. Like, anytime I have done any sort of deviation from that, it has just sucked. Like, I did a joke review of the of like one of the art, I think it was an RTX 3080 when I got it, And I
Mhm.
like the whole thing was just like, wouldn't it be funny if I like smashed the box pretending that it was still in there because I couldn't open it? And it was stupid, and it barely got any views. Some gamer chair company sent me a chair, and they were supposed to send me a kickback when people purchase things through my link. Never got any of that. I know at least 5 or 6 people bought chairs after watching my video. Never saw a penny of it. But I got a free chair that absolutely sucked, and I gave it away immediately. Um, but yeah, no, and that video got like 3,000 views at a time when my regular videos were getting like 25,000 views. So like,
Yeah.
no, I don't do review videos anymore. Like I'm just done with that. But at the same time, I also have 5 kids and a Nintendo Switch, and not enough controllers for all of them. So some of them are stuck using the Joy-Cons and or whatever. So like, maybe I could get another one. But
At that point, though, like,
if they want to pay me for a 2-minute ad at the beginning, sure. Apparently they use Hall Effect joysticks. Love Hall Effect joysticks. I will happily suck your dick about Hall Effect joysticks. But
I can always offer a wonderful suggestion. Um, the I'm a fan of wired controllers. I'm not really a big fan of wireless controllers.
our living room's
And
too big for that. There's no
you
wire long
can't
enough to get to the couch.
really.
I mean, you could get one, but like, I don't know. My
Well,
house is very inefficient when it comes to space usage. Like all the rooms are just like a little bit too big.
Fair. Oh, so for context, the way that for my bedroom, for instance, TV is on the far side of the wall, but the switch is behind the bed. We have the HDMI cord going up and over so that no animal can run through the wire. Because because I like using wired controllers, I would sit there on my game, whatever game I'm playing, Growlithe would come barreling in and just like she'd see the cord and go, yes, it's a finish line, and ram through it and just rip the switch off. Thank God those things are made of Nintendium and it didn't break
They're designed for
anytime
kids.
she's done this. Yeah, they're designed for kids to screw with them all the time. But I'm not gonna lie, it got to a point where I was like, this can't happen anymore. This is going to end up breaking something. So we were like, okay, let's just get a 25-foot HDMI cord, hook it into the back of the TV, run it up the ceiling, run it behind the bed, install a shelf next to the bed, put the switch there, and then hook the controllers there, put a hook in the wall that hangs the wires for the actual controller so that there's no fucked up space. Everything is consolidated.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the controller I use. It's the Gilly Kit King Kong. Hall Effect joysticks. Love Hall Effect joysticks. It's good. I like it. It can do wireless or wired. I definitely prefer it wired. But it depends what I'm playing. Like if I'm doing Final Fantasy VII, you don't need quick reaction time for that game. So like
No.
the couple milliseconds delay from it being wireless is fine.
It's not 10 o'clock, Growlithe. Why are you here?
No, it's 9:06 and we're still on the first news item.
We are,
And we've
I'm
barely
letting
even talked
Growlithe
about the
out
first news
now.
item. We've just been talking about like Deadpool and
Hi, child.
now we're just
You ready to
watching
go outside?
Cyrus make out with his
Thank you.
dog. Hi, Cyrus.
Come on, bro.
Okay, I guess while we're waiting for Cyrus, I'll give a review of the Gilly Kit thing. It's okay. Like that's the thing though. Like I don't even know how to review a controller. I'm just like the inputs do what I tell them to do, and the lag was either good or bad. Like that's all I know. I'm like Hall Effect, yeah. Like I like the Hall Effect because it's not subject to drift as time goes on. Now this thing though, like you can actually see like there's a crack down the side because I've dropped this thing so many times and the plate started kind of like separating. But like the fact that it's still going after how many times I've dropped it, kind of impressive actually. What do I think about Elgato mics? I think they're probably fine. I've never used one,
Ugh.
so yeah, I don't know for sure. I think Shannon Q uses one. I don't know if she still makes content. Oh, there's the hats. Hi, Cute
Hello.
Dark Arts.
I am back
You're
for
back.
reasons beyond my control.
Yeah, I think I've decided not to take the controller sponsorship because while you were gone, I was trying to give my review of the controller that I use regularly, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, when I press a button, the thing that the button is supposed to do happens. That's what happens. And that's what controllers are supposed to do, so I'm happy.
I feel like at that point, the way you would have to spin it is, it's got almost lagless response time. The buttons they give very good feedback. You know when you're clicking one.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't know.
I didn't even know that I was going to be a lag, like a response time. What's the word?
Connoisseur?
Connoisseur, sure. A response time connoisseur. Until so I was playing with it wired. I was playing Hollow Knight with it wired for ages. Latency. That's the word. Latency. Thank you, Neurobic.
I mean, I feel like if you're playing Hollow Knight, that's automatically a reason to be concerned.
Okay. Yeah. But so I was playing. So I started Hollow Knight out in the living room on the Switch. Whatever. Eventually, I was like, oh, I want to get into mods. So I installed it on my computer and started playing it here. And I was just like, I have a USB-C cord just hanging off my computer because I plug shit into it all the time with it. So I'm going to, like, may as well just use it plugged in because then I don't ever have to worry about the battery dying. And then at some point, I forget why, but I started playing wireless again. And I was like, oh my God, I'm suddenly really, really bad at this game that I was actually pretty decent at. Like,
lag.
does the latency actually make that big a difference? Yes, it does. And I didn't even notice it until I had low latency of having it plugged in.
Yep. That's so fun fact, back when I used to play a lot of League of Legends, I played on whatever PC I had at the time, which was like, at that point it was a shitty laptop with integrated graphics, and the most I could get out of the game was maybe 20 frames a second. If people weren't, yes, in League of Legends,
I'm not even a gamer. I know that's pathetic.
If people weren't fighting, if people were actively engaged in a fight, it dropped down to like 10. So I could barely play the game. Now, the reason why this matters so much is there was a time where a friend of mine asked me to come over to his house and we were going to play League together. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'll come over there. We'll hang out. It'll be a grand old time. He needed to go make dinner. And he was like, hey, if you want to play on my PC for a bit, because it's, it's super strong. It plays really well. And I was just like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have adjusted to playing on hot potato garbage. And if I learn how it feels to play on something competent, I will never be able to go back. I need to continue playing on shit. It's all I've got.
Luigi's saying you can also talk about the design. What design? All the controllers look like this now. There's slight shape variations depending on whether it's designed for PC, Switch, or Xbox or PlayStation.
It's designed like a controller.
Like,
it controls video games.
Like the design of this one is exactly the same as the Nintendo Pro controllers, except it's got a couple extra buttons because it's got macros, and that one doesn't. I never use the macros because I'm not a gamer. The only thing I do is I make it so that the right trigger will, like, if I hold it down, it acts as though I'm pressing it repeatedly, because then when dashing in Hollow Knight, I just hold the button down and I dash. That's it. That's the only special feature I use though. Okay. Moving on.
Yay!
Conservatives are outraged that Tim Walz provided free tampons for all students who needed them.
Oh boy, they're doing the tampon Tim thing.
Yeah, this is like their response to being called weird was to be like, no, Tim Walz is actually weird because he wants kids who are like menstruating to not stain their pants when they're at school. That's weird. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
Thinking that a menstruating child needs to be shamed into, I don't know, bringing extra menstrual products to school with them? Like, no, that's
Yeah,
weird. You fucking
it's
weirdos.
very, very weird. Not about even, oh God, there's a fucking person who I'm starting to learn to hate, who also was like, the person is trans, and they went, yeah, putting the tampons in the bathroom, that was a weird thing. Like, no, the fuck
No, it
it's
wasn't.
not.
Okay. Fennec the Rabbit says free tampons at school would have saved me so much headache in middle school. So I actually have a story about this. When I was in grade 8, there was a girl in my class named Ingrid who she came up to me one day asking if she could asking if she could borrow $1. Whatever. I'm like, I don't know. What do you need it for? So I'm like, yeah, I have $1, but like, I'm not just going to give it to you. What do you? And because I don't know, I'm grade 8. I was a bit of an idiot. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like, she was super duper embarrassed and didn't want to tell me. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not giving you money. I'm like, if it's something you actually need, then sure, I'll lend you some money. But like, if you just are hankering for a chocolate bar, no. And eventually she did tell me that, I need to buy a pad from the vending machine and the thing. And now, in my defense, this did not faze me at all. It was like, oh yeah, of course, here you go, have the $1. Sure, don't even bother about paying me back. Which, in the past, I was a little bit of a shit, but I feel like that was one of my better points.
Congratulations, not shit, Rhino.
I shouldn't have even bothered asking why she needed it. I will grant that was kind of a stupid thing to do. But for grade A, I feel like I handled that interaction pretty well. But it must have been super uncomfortable for her. Super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, here's this guy that, like, he has money. He is holding the ability for me to not be super duper embarrassed about having blood stains on my pants or whatever for the rest of the day in his hands, and he's making me confess that to him. It's like, if they were just free, that would have solved that problem.
Hey, you don't have to have that awkward, weird conversation about, a menstrual product. You don't need to literally tell somebody, hey, I'm on my period right now, and I would like it to be slightly less uncomfortable for me.
Now, also, maybe we just destigmatize menstruation. It's a natural thing that happens. So, like, even if you see someone in stained pants because of it, whatever, it happens sometimes. Sometimes it comes unexpectedly. Sometimes it's heavier than you think. These are just things that I know from being around people who menstruate. I don't even need to menstruate myself to know these things. And the people that actually menstruate are probably way more familiar with way more problems than this.
Go menstruate yourself right now. It sounds like an insult.
Yeah, but it's yeah, so I found out later that they kept spares in the office, but that would require asking a male teacher if I could go to the office and ask for a pad. I would rather use a bunch of toilet paper from the bathroom. That was in middle school. By high school, I just kept some in my locker.
Say that runs into just as many problems.
Yeah, no, I fully support not having to ask male teachers for permission to go get menstrual products.
Yeah. But, we have a bunch of weird societal things built up about all of our interactions that really need work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I know my oldest, who started menstruating this year, they have been going to school with an emergency, oh no, it started and I wasn't ready for it kit for like the past year and a half. And it constantly needed replenishing because they would like have friends like, oh, do you have an extra tampon or a pad or something? And they'd be like, yeah, no, here you go. And I fully supported their generosity with handing those things out. So
yeah, but like when we're dealing with kids, when we're dealing with people who are still learning how to operate socially, are developing their stigmas that they will probably engage with for the rest of their lives, maybe we just smooth things out for them a little bit. Maybe we just make those things available for them.
Yeah, just
And
make it
just be-
easier. Just make it easier. Make it so that Ingrid doesn't have to come to me for $1.
Yep.
Because, like, as much as I handled that probably as well as I could have,
There was probably some other bully that would have sat there and just
they do that, or
Made-
you're
made
saying they
fun
should
of
do
them.
that? Okay, no, my partner just popped in and said health clinics should give out menstrual cups. So I agree with that.
yeah, it's a good
Not,
thing.
not even
to
like
have.
specifically the cup, just like menstrual products, including cups or tampons or pads or what have you.
Man, did you also see that that like a lot of the conservative campaign, especially over on Fox News, is getting upset that Walls supported a free lunch program
Yes,
for kids?
like
It's
how about
insane.
How is feeding children a bad thing in your eyes? I don't get that.
How do you want to pretend that y'all are not the villains when you are literally going, no, you don't understand. We cannot feed them. We have to make them suffer. Like, the fuck? What's the lesson learned by going hungry?
Can you imagine if you just gave food to kids without them earning it first? Like, come on.
The children have to earn their keep.
God
They
damn
need
it.
to learn that life is about give and take and take and take.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, I don't know that we need to go through the article. We kind of touched on everything already.
yeah, it just
And it's kind of a short
Tim
one.
Walls seems like I understand that from what I've been able to see. Now I haven't verified this myself, so bear in mind. But apparently, like AIPAC has supported him a couple times. I don't know what all of the stuff is in regards to Walls, but everything that I've seen from the conservative outlets about Walls.
Oh, so, yeah, everything they say about him as like a condemnation is like, no, that's good actually.
It is just maybe what was the one Libs of TikTok decided to show one. Let me find the tweet because I specifically responded to this one.
I found out today that I'm blocked by libs of TikTok. I had no
Man.
idea until someone sent me a link to one of their tweets.
Let's see here. Tim Walls signed HF 146 into law. It's a radical transgender trafficking bill that shelters
Yeah, I
minors
saw
who travel across state lines to get surgeries
Yes,
without
yes,
their
yes, 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 yes,
parents'
yes.
consent.
Yes, that's the one where they lump in. Oh yeah, okay. Let me just.
It's like there's a lot of stretching having to be done with that particular one.
Yeah, no, I'm pulling it up in the chat so I can read it. Yeah. So that came with an infographic where it's like, what are transgender trafficking bills? It's like, 1, allows minors to travel across state lines for transgender procedures, including breast binders, penis tucking, irreversible drugs, double mastectomies, and castration. So, like, this is just playing off the fears of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's like,
Yep.
like penis tucking and breast binding, that's just how you get dressed in the day. That's not, you don't cross state lines to tuck your penis. You just tuck your penis while you're getting dressed. You don't cross state lines to get breast binding. You just put a binder on when you're getting dressed. That's not a medical procedure. And so it's just lumping these things in together. And like the mastectomies generally happen on kids that are between 16 and 18, like if it actually happens on a minor.
Mm-hmm.
Van Briggs is I think Van Briggs is getting close to the points to get Cirrus to redeem an uwu.
We never agreed to this.
You agreed to it when you put it into your friggin' points redemptions.
We never agreed to this.
It just goes on my soundboard, so I can make you say it whenever I want.
Yeah, well, you soundboard.
Uwu, small beans, little babies.
Oh my
And also
God.
Because why not? Oh, someone else redeemed it.
I had a weird glitch the other day where I wasn't able to see any of H Bomber Guy's content on his channel.
That
It
is
just
kind of weird.
I went on his channel and it only showed me one upload from like 7 years ago, and that was it. And I was like, did he delete all of his stuff? That's weird, because I wanted to show one of my friends the oof video, and then he looked it up on his phone, and like all of his content showed there. Didn't show for me. Super weird. YouTube's
Yeah.
a strange
Yeah.
platform sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, when you think about the logistics of what they do, it's amazing that they even exist. It's like several years of content are uploaded to their site every minute, and they somehow find the space to host it, as well as serve it up to anyone who might happen to click on it instantaneously. Like that is almost miraculous. Like, I feel like it's understandable why YouTube is like one of Google's most one of Google's least profitable businesses. And like the fact that it works as well as it does is, quite frankly, miraculous. It's proof of God. I'm a Christian now because I can.
Oh my God. Alpha Mario X did decide to screw me over and redeemed and oh whoa.
Sometimes
Oh,
I pull on it so hard, I rip the skin.
I was trying to record your ooh, but I didn't hold the button. I just pushed the button, and apparently that's what I had on this one.
Sometimes I pull on it so hard, I rip the skin.
I didn't know that was there, but it's there. I wonder what else is on this.
Please don't tell me that I just came. Well, Rhino, please.
I don't remember putting that on my sound bag, but
Please
don't
tell me. I just came. Please don't tell me I just came right now.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Fucking pronouns!
Gotta have the fucking pronouns, guy.
The Celestine Celestial Macaron says, conservatives are like, can you believe Tim Wall rescued 40 kittens from a burning tanker truck? That's horrible.
So my partner, when I've been showing her clips of him, like, since he was announced, and her reaction to him is like, oh, he has the charisma that Trump would have if Trump was coherent.
Do you see did you see what he said about JD Vance recently about debating him?
That was definitely one of the clips that I played for my partner.
That was fucking perfect. For those in chat who might not have seen, he just goes, and I'm perfectly willing. I'm happy to debate him anytime, as long as he's willing to get off the couch to do it. Boy.
And then the people in the crowd behind him basically reenacted that meme of like all the one guy who's like dunks on someone and everybody else is like, oh.
Yep. So it's funny because for years the Democratic strategy has been, for better or worse, when they go low, we go high.
Yeah.
And right now the strategy has been, fuck you, dunk time.
Yep. And it's great because we're watching the Republicans are freaking out about this, being like, oh, how dare they stoop to the level of personal insults?
How dare they stoop to our level?
Like,
how dare they engage in the strategy we've done for years?
Have you seen the fucking guy that you have as your candidate? Have you seen him? And you're complaining that we're insulting you? Fuck off with that noise. Fuck off.
It's kind of insane. The they go low, we go high strategy only works if the only people you're ever accountable to are your peers. But when your voter base is constantly watching that happen and watching their rights get eroded away every time a conservative politician manages to shift the Overton window far enough to the right that everybody's willing to do that.
Oh, there's a puddle's visible in my...
Oh my God.
She's got her diaper on, which makes me think she was a bad dog.
Oh.
Well, because we're so we got her spayed, and the cone was not effective. Like the cone that they had on her, it did not stop her from licking the wound. So we put the diaper on her because that actually covered the incision. She couldn't get at it. And then as we were doing it, we're like, you know what? She does not poop or pee in the diaper. She has bladder control. She has bowel control, but like up until that, like she still poops in the house sometimes. She still pees in the house sometimes. She doesn't like come to get us and be like, I need to go outside, because I don't know if she's lazy or just maybe like I don't know what's going on in her brain, but so we've decided that like, oh no, we're going to like because I know like the rub their nose in it thing is not the way you're supposed to do it, even though it does kind of work. So the way we're doing it now is that like when she poops or pees in the house, the diaper goes on, because she fucking hates that thing. She hates it. Like when you put the diaper on her, she will stand there and pretend like she cannot move and just glare at you until she gets hungry or something. So, but she wasn't wearing the diaper earlier today, but now she is. So I'm thinking my partner's had to clean up some pee while we've been streaming.
At least it's clean.
Yeah.
Now.
All right. So moving on. We don't really need to spend much time on this one, but so last week we talked a bit about Joe Biden actively trying to get Supreme Court reform done. And now he has written an opinion piece for the Washington Post detailing what he plans to do with regards to this.
Interesting.
So now, unfortunately, it's still kind of vague. He acknowledges that the Supreme Court's decision on July 1st to grant presidents broad immunity from prosecution for crimes they commit in office means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do. The only limits will be those that are self-imposed by the person occupying the Oval Office. The fact that he's even acknowledging this while simultaneously calling for reform for the body that essentially gave him carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wants speaks volumes to his character. And how he's like, he is willing to limit himself for the good of the country, because he knows that long term, if he uses the powers that the Supreme Court just hypothetically granted him, that's not good for the country.
Long term, it's very, very bad. It goes back to that conversation the older gentlemen were having at the card shop that I was at, where one of them pointed out like, hey, the President Biden speech was beautiful in his eyes because it showed that he was humbly giving up that power, that opportunity, giving up that fight for the better of the American people. And whether the other people who were involved in that conversation agreed or not, I'm not super concerned with. I think that the sentiment that was said there, literally a couple feet behind me, it made perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And it was nice to see that that was like, these are people who are like 60 years old. This is what that generation, or some people from that generation, are seeing from Biden. That's a good thing. That's a good takeaway for them to have.
Alex Merkel says, "Oh, we aren't getting a Dark Brandon moment before he patches the bug in the system."
We've gotten a few recently, though, that have been nice. Like the media trying to get him and saying, oh, what are you going to do about the hostages that are currently held, I think, by Russia? And Biden was
you mean the ones that Trump didn't do anything for?
Yeah. And then Biden basically snapped back at them going, I'm doing what I can to do. Do you want me to go ahead and ruin that by telling you what it is? Yeah. Do you want me to go ahead and fuck it all up by giving you that information right here publicly? Is that what you want right now?
Yeah. Now, so I was thinking when I found out that like it was said it's written by Joe Biden or whatever, I was thinking like, oh no, he probably had an aide or a speechwriter or something write this. But like reading through it, it genuinely reads the way he talks. So I think he did actually write this. Like, I'm sure he had editors make sure that it was fine or whatever, but like I'm pretty sure he actually did the writing on this. That being said, I'm not a fucking expert on this.
Well, and you can, if you know somebody's speech patterns well enough, you can write a script that sounds like them. So
just ask ChatGPT about that.
I meant a real person.
No. I take that back, because I've tried to get ChatGPT to write stuff that sounds like I wrote it, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't write that garbage. So,
Yeah, I had a friend years ago who made a script for a video they wanted me to voice for, and they were like, I wrote the script to sound like you speaking these words. And To be fair, they did a decent job when somebody else read over it. They're like, that just reads like a Cirrus video. That just reads like how he speaks live. So like, yeah, it's doable if you're good enough at mimicry and mockery. Not mockery making fun of, but like a mockingbird. You can do that. And I guarantee you there's somebody in Biden's like immediate aides that are able to do that.
Yeah.
But it is still very nice. Like there's nothing wrong about having a presidential aide help write something like that.
This seems authentic is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I'm also explaining why I'm skipping a bunch of it because, as we know, Biden kind of rambles a little bit at the beginning of things.
Yeah.
But so to get to the meat of it, he says, first, I'm calling for a constitutional amendment called the No One is Above the Law Amendment. When did we stop numbering them? When did we name the amendments?
27?
But,
28?
It would make clear that there is no immunity for crimes for a former president, no immunity for crimes a former president committed while in office. I share our founders' belief that the president's power is limited, not absolute. We are a nation of laws, not kings or dictators. So now, obviously, as the president, he can't just amend the Constitution. He's calling for an amendment. It's not going to pass unless the Democrats get a supermajority because, like, realistically, this should be able to pass with bipartisan support. But the GOP are a bunch of hacks. Nowadays.
I can imagine a bunch of people in the GOP just sitting there going, no, we want that power. When that power is bestowed on us, oh, what wonders we shall wrought.
Yeah. So it's just like, this should be such an easy amendment to pass that, like, yes, of course, we can hold presidents accountable for crimes committed while in office. That's never been a problem in the past. When it has, like, on the rare occasions when it has almost been a problem, they've, like, resigned and then been pardoned.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, no. Like, they already have civil immunity. No citizen can sue them in civil court for things that they do while they're president.
We don't need to give
They don't
them
need criminal immunity.
Super immunity.
No.
That's not necessary.
Now, the other things, I don't know if this could be done by executive order or whether it would have to go through Congress. Judging by the comments we got on the video from last time we talked about this, and again, this is YouTube comments, so not the greatest source of information.
Yeah.
But the consensus among YouTube commenters seems to be that this has to be an act of Congress. It can't be an executive order. So I don't know if this is even within Biden's power or if it's something that he just has to, like, look to Congress and be like, hey, it'd be really great if you made it so that I can't just do whatever the fuck I want. Like, hey, Congress, it'd be great if you made it so I can't assassinate you and then not get punished for it.
Yeah, so Congress has to propose an amendment in a joint resolution, and then the president is allowed to look at the amendment and, you know, give a stamp of approval.
Are we talking about constitutional amendments or an amendment to how the Supreme Court works? Because I don't know that the Supreme Court and all the inner workings of the court are dictated exactly by the Constitution.
Let's find out.
Again, not an expert. I didn't really look into this all that much because, again, this seems like something that doesn't really have a lot of teeth to it, but, like, at least it's being discussed, at least it's being proposed.
Yeah, I don't have a straight answer on that one, actually.
Well, Van Briggs is saying constitutional amendment. I don't think it's that cut and dry. Like, the constitutional amendment, that's the thing where, like, he wants to amend the Constitution so that it's not just a law that presidents can be prosecuted. It is now built into the Constitution that presidents can be prosecuted for crimes. So that way the Supreme Court can't just be like, oh, well, according to the Constitution, if you interpret it in this way that is completely inconsistent with anything, but I'm going to call it originalism anyway.
If you interpret it out the left side of your butt cheek instead of the right side.
Yeah. So it's the term limits thing that, like, I don't know if he can change the way the court operates that way unilaterally or whether it would need to go through Congress. And if it does need to go through Congress, I don't think it would need to be a constitutional amendment for this. It would just need to be a new law. I don't know.
Fair.
But yeah, so that's his plan where he wants them to have 18-year term limits. And again, he doesn't explain how this would apply to the court that we currently have, but in theory, if you like start from scratch, that would mean that every president gets 2 appointments no matter what. Like every term, every 4-year term gets 2 appointments.
Which would be
And
kind of ideal.
I think that's fine. I'm okay with that.
It's harder to game the system the way that McConnell did.
Yeah. I would hope there would be a provision in there against McConnelling the shit out of it.
Like if a president is technically sort of kind of a lame duck, but they still have all the powers of a president for a few months, then maybe we just cuck them. That's right. We force the president to engage in cuckoldry constantly, watching everybody else do president shit except him.
Yeah, so people on Twitch are talking about constitutional amendments, and it's like, no, I don't think this would require a constitutional amendment for the second thing. And also the third thing, he's calling for a binding code of ethics for the Supreme Court, which it's completely baffling to me that they don't have that already.
You
And,
imagine
they only they only just now got the self-enforced code of ethics that is completely toothless. But it's like a traffic court judge is held to a higher standard than the highest court in the land.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How does that make any amount of sense?
Welcome to the United States.
Like this is the
walking contradictions.
This is a thing that I've run into on my main channel when talking about, like, because they'll talk about like, oh, God is like a judge and Jesus paid your fine. And so it's like, that's like the judge's son paid your fine in order to get you out of trouble. That would actually be an ethics violation if the judge allowed that to happen. Now, like, ultimately,
you're not supposed to take it literally, Rhino. You're not supposed to take it literally.
But like, they're talking about fines like traffic violations. I'm like, and I've mentioned this in videos, is like, it's weird that a traffic court judge is held to a higher standard than the Supreme Court of the United States.
Rhino, I have a question.
Take bribes from billionaires and then rule things in that billionaire's favor, and it's fine, apparently. What's your question?
If Andrew Tate dies and is sitting there getting judged by St. Peter, can St. Peter list everything he's done under traffic violation?
Yes and no.
Yeah, yes and no. It's true from a certain point of view.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Kenobi. But he says the court's current voluntary ethics code is weak and self-enforced. Justices should be required to disclose gifts, refrain from public political activity, and recuse themselves from cases in which they or their spouses have financial or other conflicts of interest. That seems like kind of a no-duh. Like, obviously, the highest court of the land should not be able to take bribes from billionaires or sit in on cases where the outcome is going to...
Remember, it's not a bribe. It's just a friend taking me out on a $1 billion cruise.
They fucking ruled that bribes are legitimate now, as long as it happens after the fact.
Yep.
It's like, okay, fuck off, you fucking assholes.
Clarence Thomas is sitting there going, "Daddy needs a new pair of shoes, like 50 million of them."
No, okay. So sorry, so you know how I just got my Ioniq 5, and like, financially speaking, it's the same payment as my van, so it's not really like, it's not technically an upgrade, but it's so much better than the van.
Mm-hmm.
So my partner's ex came to pick up the kids today, and he used to drive a Cadillac SUV. Okay. And today he came to pick up the kids in like this ugly little 10-year-old sedan. And I don't like, maybe his Cadillac is in the shop and this is just a loaner car. But there was a certain amount of catharsis as we watched the kids get into this car and be like, we just upgraded our car like massively, and he just downgraded his. Also, he literally lives in his parents' basement, and he's a real estate agent that like sells maybe one house every 2 years.
got his life together, doesn't he?
And at least one of his kids gets super sad anytime it's time to go back to dad's house because she is trans and he is anti-trans, so she has to be a boy at his house, and he tries to force her to be a boy at our house too by doing stuff like, oh, you can't sleep in my bed when you like have a nightmare or whatever unless you're a boy at mummy's house. It's like, no, fuck you, you
Like,
asshole.
You're a kid and you want comfort from your parent. That's a legitimate thing to want.
Yeah. Lord of Uzkalak says, love your children more than you hate each other. Exactly. I wish he would live by that. Anyway. 3 is the binding code of conduct, so we've already talked about that. So yeah, I guess we're done with the Supreme Court. So, tweet time?
Tweet time.
Do we do the tweets on Twit tweets? Do we go to the tweets?
Sometimes. Every now and again.
Every now and again. Starting with capturing Christianity. Not the thing we're going to talk about. Like I'm pretty sure I saved that screenshot as well.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we can still talk about it. But he says, but without God, is murder wrong? Checkmate atheists.
Unironically, checkmate atheist.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is just him engagement baiting.
It is.
But like that's
It
why I
is.
didn't engage with it on Twitter, and I just took a screenshot of it so we can engage with it here. But like, yeah, without God, murder is wrong. And then they're all like, oh, well, what if I say I like murdering? It's like, well, then we can objectively measure. Does that increase overall, does that increase well-being or decrease well-being? Well, you might increase well-being if you murder me because you really don't like me, but like the decrease of well-being on my side greatly outweighs that. So objectively, if our goal is increase well-being, decrease harm, murder increases harm. So it's wrong.
Yeah, all you need
God
to know
not
murder
needed.
is wrong is have a set of principles that say that murder is wrong. That's all you need. And technically, that's the only defense you have with the Bible, is that it has a set of principles that ostensibly say that murder is wrong.
That's the thing. We're supposed to compare morality to God's nature or whatever. It's like, okay, well,
He drowned everyone.
the way we determine God's nature is by what people say about him, because he doesn't just come and clarify for himself. But like if we're using the book that is supposed to be the word of God, slavery is okay, genocide is sometimes okay, miscegenation is wrong, fucking planting crops that like help each other is wrong, because you can't plant 2 different kinds of crops in the same field. That's morally wrong according to Leviticus.
But crop rotation is good.
No, not crop rotation. I'm talking about stuff like you plant a nitrogen fixing crop along with a nitrogen heavy crop. So like plant your beans with your corn, because beans fix the nitrogen and corn sucks all the nitrogen up. You get a higher yield out of both if you plant them both together. Bible says no, fuck that. Planting different kinds of seeds in the same field, that's wrong. People probably starved to death because of that. Anyway, I gotta pee, so you can entertain them with this.
Do I have to do it while I'm staring at Cameron? Oh god, I have to do it while I'm staring at Cameron. Anyway, hi everybody. Cameron runs a channel called Capturing Christianity, and it has high production values and pretends to be one of the most intellectual Christian shows on the planet. And all it is just Cameron. What's the best way to put this besides sucking God's dick? I guess we'll just say sucking God's dick. It's just very, very bad. It's very bad argumentation. And anytime I've seen him on Twitter, it is either flagrant engagement baiting or more of that. Ravi says, hi, Dr. Nick. Who's Dr. Nick? I don't know who Dr. Nick is in this specific situation. Sean Hyven says, unless you're a woman in Georgia who happens to find your husband cheating, then technically you're allowed to shoot them in the head with a shotgun. It requires, stated in the actual books, it has to be a shotgun. Weird. Mefren says, Cameron is dumber than a pile of host crackers. of damp host crackers. Damp host crackers. Oh, okay. Jesus, man. Dude says, wait, that is one of the more intellectual ones. Wow, I knew it was bad, but for this to be classified as intellectual, damn. I said, like, tries to position himself as that. Also, I can tell that I've been up since 1 a.m. because my body is trying everything in its power to get me to just pass the hell out. And I can't eat anything to try to gain energy because I'm also maxed out on calories for the day. So I just have to function. That's all I have to do. I have to function enough to do topics after Rhino and I are done with tweets. Great. Purple Rhymes with Orange says, if you ate a whole box of communion wafers, would that be snack religious? Yes. Yes, it would. All right,
I didn't hear the beginning of that, but I can imagine what it was.
If you ate a whole box of communion wafers, would it be snack religious?
Yeah.
How many calories are in the body of Christ? Roughly about 35 per wafer.
That many?
Let's find out.
How fucking thick are those wafers? I'm thinking more like 10.
It depends on how they are cooked.
Sure.
Oh, no, hold on. It says serving size is 1 piece with 0 calories.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I believe that one.
All right,
filled with the Holy Spirit.
This is a screenshot of the. So remember, Cameron, Capturing Christianity, says that he is exposing the intellectual side of Christianity. So naturally, he made a video called "The Unexpected Truth" about Imane Khalif, with male or female. He constantly misgenders her throughout the video. I did eventually cave and watch it. At first, I was like, no, I'm not going to give him the watch time because he doesn't deserve it. But yeah, so I watched through it. Basically, he looks at her and is like, oh, she's got broad shoulders and looks kind of masculine. And then he asked ChatGPT, we're like, oh, if someone was tested and has XY chromosomes and looks kind of masculine, does that mean she has such and such syndrome? And ChatGPT basically... So ChatGPT said, yes, that is likely.
Mm-hmm.
And then also had like 2 paragraphs where it was like, but these generalizations should not be just like applied randomly or whatever. Like you can't just make diagnoses based on
shit you can see.
Based on shit you can see. Yeah. It essentially called him an idiot, but he skipped those things in the video in favor of like, oh yeah, this, like, given the information that he provided to ChatGPT, which was, yes, she has XY chromosomes, she probably has such and such syndrome or whatever. But as we discussed earlier, we don't even know what test it was that that other boxing agency administered.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was testosterone. Other people are saying it was a chromosome test, but like, we don't actually know. That information is not public. We just know that after she beat the Russian boxer, the Russian commissioner of a corrupt organization said, hey, she's not qualified because of this test. She didn't pass this test. And so that restored the Russian boxer's undefeated record. That's all we know. We don't even know what the test was.
Just that there was one.
Just that there was a test.
Yep.
And that a Russian guy claimed that she failed the test, or like she was disqualified because of the test after she beat a Russian boxer who up to that point was undefeated. And then based on like one other boxer said, oh, I've never been hit so hard in my life. Suddenly you've got a bunch of right-wing weirdos speculating about her genitals and shit. It's like, no, just like, fuck off. It's none of your business. None of your goddamn business.
It's very, very frustrating seeing all of the conversation that has happened about this, because it is mostly people who have no education, in any of the conversations that would need to be had
So
for this person.
Sorry, diehard anime otaku says, I thought her opponent was an Italian boxer. Yes, that was in
This
the
time.
Olympics. The test that everybody's referring to that they're using to say that
Was
she's
from
male
2023.
was when she fought against a Russian boxer, and the Russian commissioner of that boxing organization, after she beat the Russian boxer, was like, oh yeah, no, actually we're retroactively disqualifying her to restore that Russian boxer's undefeated record. So like, no, it's sketchy as fuck, and these people are weird for even wanting to dissect this. Like, no, fuck off.
I haven't watched the video. I don't know if I should.
No, you shouldn't. There's nothing of value there. I watched it so you don't have to.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm the Capturing Christianity critic.
Yep, you are. I was about to say thanks, Doug.
All right.
Hi, I'm Rhino Walker.
Declaration of Meme says, you posted this meme, this is the left. Maybe I'm an NPC? No, having the same opinions as celebrities and major corporations while repeating every media talking point verbatim is what real people do.
I wonder if he
Okay.
realizes that sometimes large groups of people have the same opinions because they're right.
So here's the thing though, like as far as celebrities go, I don't give a fuck what celebrities think. Like I can't think of a single left-wing celebrity that like everybody's falling in line behind, except for maybe Taylor Swift. But even then, her political opinions aren't like the primary thing there. It's just like be kind to people. Major corporations, no, we don't have the same opinion as major corporations. Major corporations pretend to have the same opinion as us because that makes them money. And that's all that corporations fucking care about is making money. So they will pretend, they will, like, all through June, they will all change their logos to have a pride flag overlaying their thing. And then as soon as July 1st
not
hits,
in China.
but not in China.
Not in China.
As soon as July 1st hits, they suddenly switch to 4th of July or whatever. But like, they will pretend to care about these issues because it is profitable to care about those issues because everybody cares about those issues except for right-wing weirdos. And repeating every media talking point verbatim. I don't know, man. Like I consume so little of the mainstream media. Like most mainstream media that I consume is like when I see Fox News making a claim, I'll be like, oh, that can't be right. So then I will look it up and find out, oh, it's not right.
Yeah, it turns out that if something that we say agrees with mainstream media, that is entirely happenstance. It's not because we listened to a news outlet say something and said, that's true, so we'll say it.
Also, I will again point out that this is kind of a depressing fact, but Fox News is the most popular news outlet in the world. So it doesn't get more mainstream than Fox News. So if I'm going against Fox News, I'm going against the mainstream media. And I'm usually going against Fox News. Although Jessica Tarlov fucking rocks. I don't know how she does the job that she does. Are you familiar with her?
I'm not actually.
So she occupies the liberal chair on The Five, which is Fox's like we pretend to have all the opinions show. So they've got 4 conservatives and Jessica Tarlov.
Okay.
And she regularly just completely fucking demolishes everybody else that's there when they let her talk. And
so they just learn not to let her talk.
I mean, sometimes they have to let her talk a certain amount, otherwise they can't even put up the appearance of being fair and balanced. So, yeah. It's meme heavy tonight. Eric Coven posted, camera 24 megapixels, has a creator, Canon. Human eye 576 megapixels, no creator, accident.
We've watched eyes get grown naturally.
So here's the thing. The 576 megapixel number, that's a bit deceptive. That's just basically treating like that's a calculation that's done based on how many rods and cones people typically have. and treating those as like pixels. But the thing is with the eye, like if you hold your thumb up out at like at arm's length, your thumbnail is about the size of your vision that is in focus at any given moment. You can't, like, nothing else is actually in focus. It's all like a little bit blurry. And if it looks like it's in focus, that's because your brain is doing post-processing to make it look like it's in focus. There's also
filling in the gaps.
I think it's about 15 degrees around the thumb. It might be a little bit more than that. But like basically where you are looking is color, but your peripheral vision is black and white. You can't see color in your peripheral vision, but it looks like it's color. Why? Because your brain is post-processing that to fill in details that it thinks are there. Now, our brains are pretty good at that, especially in environments that we're familiar with. I already know that my wall over there is brown, so when I'm seeing it over the corner of my eye, my brain just says, yeah, no, I know what that is, so it's brown. But like, if you are somewhere unfamiliar, it might get those things wrong. It's trying to like look at patterns and recognize patterns, and it makes mistakes all the goddamn time. There's the blind spot as well. The image is upside down, and your brain has to work to like flip it upside right. So like, no, the camera, the man-made camera is actually way better than the eyes, because like a whole image can be in focus. And the whole thing will be in color, and you don't need to post-process it and guess at what the colors might be. But on top of that, like, has a creator canon? No, I'm pretty sure in 1947, when the transistor was invented, they had no idea that transistors would ever be used to take pictures.
Nope, they were
So,
just
like,
made.
So, like, as much as like every step in the process, yes, it did have a designer. It was basically an evolutionary process. Fennec says, I prefer Nikon. I also prefer Nikon. However, Nikon, unless you go to the like extreme high end, they don't have a clean HDMI output. So I do use a Canon for recording my videos. But like, I have 3 Nikon DSLRs because I don't know, like my kids keep like breaking them, and then like getting a new body is cheaper than just getting a new lens oftentimes. So like, that's how I've upgraded my cameras over the years.
Because it's cheaper to upgrade it than to repair.
Well, no, because like usually it's been like a kit lens that comes with like the cheap lens that comes with the camera.
Yeah.
And then the kids will like knock it off a table and it falls and the lens breaks, but the body's fine. So like I could just replace the lens, or for like $50 more, I could replace the whole camera, and it comes with another kit lens. And so like, So like, yeah, I do like Nikon better than Canon, but the Canon has the clean DSLR output, or clean HDMI output that I need. But yeah, no. Cameras are objectively better than eyes at processing images.
Cameras are better than Cameron.
Yeah, but this is Eric, not Cameron.
I know. But I needed to make a pun. I desperately needed to.
Alex is saying it's 10 o'clock because everybody can hear your dog barking.
Yeah. She'll have to wait.
Okay.
I need to figure out why my... No, I know why I'm sleepy. I was up at 2 a.m. That's why I'm sleepy.
I actually slept in the basement last night because my partner's kids were like, one of them was sick and sleeping in the bed with her. And I had a rotten night the night before, and it was just like, no, I need to be fully rested so I can actually work and focus, because like if I'm tired, my focus is just gone. So yeah,
Fennec is saying, Cirrus, go to bed. I can't.
Cirrus will go to bed when I let him go to bed.
God damn it.
We're almost done. So this, I showed you this. This was a comment on one of the videos from last week where I said that I want to see a president that's at the youngest possible age. Like, I think it's 34 is the youngest
30.
you're allowed to be.
35.
So, sure, 35. So it's like, yeah, let's have a 35-year-old president. That would be fucking awesome to have someone in office. Like, imagine that. Someone that's in office young enough that they can actually like see the consequences of their policies, like fully played out. That'd be amazing. They'd actually have to consider their own future when they're making policies. That'd be great. Apparently that makes me a pedophile. Wanting a 35-year-old president makes me a pedophile. Because you don't look too young yourself. So this was on the thumbnail. I used Photoshop to make myself look older, so I don't know if they were going by that or not. Because
so you're
I'm
asking
not that
for a
much
kid.
Yeah, I am older than 35, but I'm 38. That's only 3 years. That's not that much older.
If we start considering 35 years old a kid, I'm gonna go shoot myself.
So I dated a 28-year-old for a bit in between my wife dying and my current partner. And let's see, I was 37, 36. I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah, it was not quite a 10-year age gap, but it was close to it, and it was just this ain't a permanent relationship, because no, there's too much of a culture shock between the two of us.
Yeah.
And that's okay, no, that's the limit. I'm not going any younger than that at all. But wanting a president that is 3 years younger than me apparently is so they say, so you're asking a kid, anyone younger than you. 35 isn't a kid.
No, it's not.
Although ask me when I'm 45, I might change my tune on that. Because when I was 25, I wouldn't have said that was a kid, but 25-year-olds to me now, no, you're a kid. So maybe I will change my tune on this, but yeah, no, 35-year-olds isn't a kid, but then it says anyone younger than you to run the largest country on earth in history smells like a grift to get with kids. So yeah, wanting a 35-year-old president makes me a pedophile.
Jesus Christ.
And this is even just this was just hypothetically, I think the youngest president in history was 40.
I just don't understand this mentality. This feels like what happens when AI tries to generate a toxic commenter.
So Jassa says, in what way are we the largest country? I think political influence, maybe. I will grant them largest country, because I know you're not largest country by population, you're not largest country by landmass, but US is the most powerful country on the planet at the moment. So I will grant them that in political influence sense. But yeah, Canada's bigger. Just saying. We're bigger than you.
Yeah, but we have Texas.
Yeah, but we're bigger than Texas.
You can fit 12
we have
Canadas
fucking
in
Alberta.
Texas.
Alberta's bigger than Texas.
You can fit 12 Canadas in Texas.
And you can fit 12
that.
Texases in Alberta.
So, welcome to the Twilight Zone.
It's a big Ouroboros or Ouroboros, depending
I
on how
didn't
you
realize that both Canada and the United States were effectively bags of holding.
Do you know that Ted Cruz is from Alberta?
I'm so tired of your fucking people coming and fucking up my politics. I'm so tired of this. You gave us Steven Crowder.
Oh, God damn it. At least you know with 100% certainty that Ted Cruz will never be president. Because he's not eligible.
I mean, yeah, that wasn't really much comfort knowing that Ken Ham can't be president either, but Australia still gave us him. Where's New Zealand?
So Jasta says Ouroboros. That's how I want to pronounce it, but I've heard it said Ouroboros. And that's one of those words that I learned it by reading it. I didn't hear someone else say it to me.
I have never heard Ouroboros.
You've only ever heard Ouroboros?
I've only ever heard Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. Okay. Well, so here's the thing. At the Christian high school I went to, I once had an English teacher make fun of me in front of the whole class for thinking that it was pronounced disheveled when it is clearly disheveled. Yeah. No, that look on your face is accurate, because that messed me the fuck up, because that was one of those words that I just learned by reading it, not by hearing it. So I thought they were right for a little bit. And then I found out later, oh, no, nobody says disheveled. Everybody says disheveled, because that's the word. So
I feel like that's where you go back in time. You either go back in time, or you go back to that teacher and you sit down with them and you go, so we need to talk. We need to talk about something you did when I was a kid.
That was Mr. Hyson. he was, and the best part is he was the gym teacher that was made the English teacher because my Christian high school didn't have a replacement English teacher for the actual English teacher that got married and moved away.
So they just consider English to be the default thing.
They made the gym teacher the English teacher, and he was not good at it.
Sucked at it.
Yeah. To say the least.
Jeez. Alpha Mario's like, we need to talk. Sir, we need to have a conversation about your extended... Oh, this fucker's been everywhere.
Yeah. Joey Manarino.
Oh my God.
Says, people do realize that Kamala Harris will abolish the Electoral College, right? It's like, okay, first off, no, she won't, because she can't, because that would take an act of Congress, but that would be great if she would. But then he says, if that happens, we literally never get another Republican president. Way to admit that Republicans are not popular. Because that's the whole thing with the Electoral College, is that you can lose the popular vote, but still have your guy as president. If you need that to be president, then that means you are not what the voters actually want. Because, like, remember, Trump has never won the popular vote. Never. So, yeah, abolishing the Electoral College would be a good thing, I think. Like, the whole purpose, the whole stated purpose of the Electoral College, the idea is like, okay, well, the people have selected someone who's clearly an idiot, who's not qualified for the job. So the electors who are more qualified in theory to choose the president can be like, okay, the populace have said this guy, but like, we can't actually let that guy because he's going to be like, he's going to turn into an autocrat or something. So we will choose the actual like good candidate, even though the populace is like, that is the hypothetical reason for it. The fact that Trump
never happens.
The fact that Trump became president definitively proved that the Electoral College is not capable of fulfilling that duty, or Trump would have never been president, because that's the quintessential example of like, why, like a situation when the Electoral College should have stepped in and been like, no, we are not going with this megalomaniacal, narcissistic asshole who is clearly just in it for his own personal gain. No, obviously not.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is one of those things where like, when more people vote, the Democrats always win, because the Democrats have positions that are more in line with the American public.
There's more of us.
Yeah,
always.
This is the Republicans admitting that they need to cheat to win. Oh, this one was great. Okay, before we read this one, the person that said it in a tweet before it that wasn't really interesting enough to clip for the show, he claimed to be a university-educated geneticist.
Okay.
Keep that in mind while we read this tweet, which I almost missed it. This one got in right under the wire. I saw it right before we went live and was like, oh, I have to clip that. MDJsoft says, all women who have had sexual intercourse have XY cells distributed throughout their body, as sperm acts like stem cell when not fertilizing eggs.
What?
Men get hair on their tummy from ejaculating there often.
What?
The cummies on my tummies make me grow hair there.
I don't understand.
Biology is amazing. The chromosomes of the sexually reproductive system is what determines sex, not the body. So, the reason you have belly hair is because you cummy on your tummy.
Why are people
He says
like this?
he claims to be a fucking geneticist.
This has got to be AI. This can't be a real person.
I don't know. This was in response to Katie Montgomery, who is fucking amazing. If you don't follow her, I highly recommend it. She's great. But like, yeah. No, so this makes me wonder, like, do all porn actresses need to like shave their faces because cum makes hair grow, so they're getting facials all the time?
Wait, does that mean if you accidentally get it in the eye, you'll grow hair on your eyeball?
That's how they get long eyelashes. That it's not fake eyelashes, they just get the cum shots.
Spread it around your eyelids, babe. You need
I mean,
it.
the downside is you got to shave your forehead now, but
The things you do.
God.
Jessa
says, "What is my beard and chest hair?" Jessa,
Well.
aren't you? I seem to recall you being bisexual. Oh, my partner says that's when she sits on your face, but I seem to recall Jessa is some flavor of LGBTQ.
You're just sitting there with a.
Jess is hetero. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm
You're
sorry.
just sitting there going, I need the facial hair. I've got to grow it. So you have your thing erect in your hand, and you've taped a straw to it.
This is how we get trans. This is. We don't need HRT for trans men. They just need to take a bunch of cum shots to the face so they can grow the beard.
Just spread semen on his face. It's it's so gender. Oh my god.
This is so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. And I love it. I love every sentence that this person wrote.
For some reason this is reminding me of one of the dumbest things I've said to Saki in jest, but it's come up more than once because it's very stupid. But so you know how I'm in the South, right? And everybody here is very fake polite, but there's a lot of misogyny here.
Yeah, no, I am aware that I've offered my basement bedroom to you as a place of refuge should Trump be elected.
So I made the comment as like, hun, I hope you know down here misogyny is trans affirming.
I mean, sometimes it is. There's a whole account on Twitter. There is a whole account on Twitter that is accidentally or like accidental ally or something like that. There's like anti-trans people that like horseshoe their way around to becoming pro-trans accidentally.
Like when Andrew Tate did the whole, would you want to fuck Megan Fox with a dick or Hulk Hogan with a vagina?
Megan Fox with a dick.
He literally, the best thing he said during that was, you could just scoot it. You just scoot it. Scoot it to the side.
The dick?
Yes.
Okay.
It's literally not necessary, but you know.
I don't know. As someone who is very inexperienced with that, but has recently had some experience with that, I'm like, no, Megan Fox with the dick, obviously.
Jesus.
And that's like, I mean, part of that is Hulk Hogan is just like personality wise, that's a no.
Well, yeah, especially after recent events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan at the RNC made me want to vomit a little.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan makes me want to vomit a little anyways. Like, just read his fucking Wikipedia page. There's a lot going wrong with him. Reality Not Fiction says, I have identify as a Tesla on my truck. It's like, it's the one joke. They have one joke.
Not only is it the one joke, but it's really bad because you don't want your truck being a Tesla truck.
Yeah.
I identify as a Cybertruck. And it is 2024. I can't make the joke that immediately came to mind about that.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. Like, the Cybertruck is actually, like, purely spec-wise and, like, what it is capable of doing, it's not that far off from other electric trucks.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I don't know. This is my anti-truck bigotry coming in, where trucks are just dumb, and especially like. So I know I started this with the Cybertruck, but if you take that extend it to like the Ford F-150 Lightning or whatever, like all these trucks that have the frunk, like, oh, it's a big empty space in the front where you can like store stuff or whatever. It's like you could have used that space to like increase visibility so you can see children in front of you while you're driving. But no, we have to make it look like a truck even though that objectively will kill kids. Why? The whole point of a truck is you got the big massive bed in the back for storage. Why do you need a frunk as well? Like, no, put a window there so you can see the kid that's in front of you. And then, like, and they'll say like, oh, well, no, we got like the sensors and whatnot that'll beep or whatever in the emergency braking system. We're like, yeah, no, those systems, I don't fucking trust those systems. Like, okay.
Have you seen the videos of the guys that have been messing with those Tesla systems by trying to test if they will try to chop off fingers?
Yeah.
Where they'll be like,
I have.
Let's put a carrot here.
It'll squish watermelons. It'll chop off carrots. People have put their actual hands in there, and it draws blood, and it just like keeps on going down. It's like no. But even not like I'm talking about like the emergency braking systems. Like, so my car, love my car. It's fucking great. It's got a heads-up display. Ask me a year ago what I thought about heads-up displays in cars, and I'd say, oh, that's just some gimmick. Whatever. Don't need it. Who cares? It fucking rocks. I fucking love the heads up display in this thing. Like it's like, so it tells you what speed you're going. It tells you what the speed limit is. It gives you like whatever direction, like if you have the GPS on, it'll tell you the next directions on, like, so you can, without taking your eyes off the road, you can see where your next turn is and shit. It's fucking great. I love it. It's also got blind spot detection where like you can see if there's a car beside you.
Yeah, that's all the features.
Always fucking look. You know why? Because these systems are not perfect. They fuck up all the damn time. That includes the ones on the front of these trucks. That they could have put a window there, but no, they put a frunk there. Because like if it's raining out, sometimes it'll see something in your blind spot that's not there. Sometimes it'll not see something in your blind spot that is there. So like, yeah, it's nice that on my heads up display, there's a little indicator saying like, oh, there's a car beside you right now, so don't start changing lanes. But I always look because it's not perfect. Sometimes it's wrong. I have seen it be wrong. So like, why do these, like, especially with the electric trucks, why does an electric truck need to have this big massive grill on the front? Because you got to
look cool.
Because you got a small dick and you need to compensate for it. Like, no,
it's to
fuck
make
off
it
with
look
that noise.
cool.
No, it doesn't look cool though. Like, it's you're an asshole. Like, I'm saying this as someone like, I love this technology. I love my goddamn car and all the stupid things that it can do that I can do myself. But it's fine. And like, I can do myself fine. There's no trouble, but like my car will do it for me. I love it. But like, you don't trust these systems when it comes to safety. Like, it's a nice to have where like, oh, if the light is illuminated saying that there's a car in my blind spot, I'm not just going to put my signal on. I'm going to look first and verify that it's actually right. That's great. But like, you don't trust it when it comes, like, I do not have implicit trust for these systems.
Yeah, technology will always be a supplement to human senses and human sensibility. To use it as a full replacement always runs into some kind of problem.
Always. Sir Uncle Ned just arrived and read the tweet. Yeah, go back a little. We're done talking about the tweet. We're back to we're on to bashing Tesla, but not even Tesla, just trucks in general, and the complete idiocy that is modern truck design. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. Whatever. We went into more detail on truck stuff last week. So we can.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was. Did I accidentally go back to that one? Because yeah, there was this one that sparked that discussion. Okay. Oh, this one's fun. So this is not the tweet that I'm responding to, but so Tyler Jordan, I guess, is affiliated with this company, Realtree. I don't know if he owns it or if he's just one of the higher ups or whatever, but I guess the Harris Waltz campaign got this like camo hat or whatever going on, and that's just like a generic print that they got from this Realtree company. And so Realtree was like, oh, we didn't actually know that they were going to buy it for their campaign, and we don't actually support them. Like, okay, fine, whatever. You're allowed to do that. So this person said, you should stop that license. That's a horrible look. To which the Realtree guy said, Trump buys from them too. He did in 2020. Anybody can go buy blank camo hat shirts. A little bit out of our control as the licensee didn't know what they were being used for either. To which Dayton Sailing replied, so we just need to buy them and burn them. Go for it. Go for it. Buy them. Because you know what? The Harris Waltz campaign, they're not selling them because they want people to be seen wearing those hats. They're selling them for fundraising. So once you buy them, they don't give a fuck whether you burn them or wear them. They have your money. Go ahead. Mortgage your house, remortgage your house to buy as many of those hats as you can, and then just burn them. Go for it. I'm here for it.
It's like when people got really stupid about Keurig machines.
Yep. And not only
did they get rid of their Keurigs, they started buying Keurigs to break the Keurigs, just meaning that there was a lot of money going to Keurig.
And then because nobody's really paying attention after you've done the thing, you're like, you know what? I actually kind of liked that coffee maker, so I can just go buy a new one to replace the one that I destroyed for the views. And nobody's going to know because
now you've got a Keurig.
Like, the thing that I went viral for is smashing it into my driveway. There's no shot of my kitchen in there. Nobody's going to ask me for updated shots of my kitchen to make sure I didn't go replace it. So yeah, I went and replaced it. So like, yeah, that's actually like the new marketing strategy. Whereas like in the 90s, it was make a bizarre advertisement so that people would remember it. But now all the ads are so bizarre that I don't remember the bizarre ones. Like, my partner and I, when we went to the movies, we don't see ads normally. I've got YouTube Premium, and all of our streaming services we have at non-ad things. Actually, Amazon Prime started doing ads not too long ago, and that was so fucking it was just an experience for I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like I'm so used to not ads that like seeing an ad in the middle of Has Been Hotel is just like, what the fuck is happening? What?
Yeah.
What is it? Like, so we were so distracted by our not understanding what an ad even was anymore that like none of the ads registered. But like all of the ads before Deadpool and Wolverine when we were there, like all of them were just like, what the fuck even is this? Like, the thing that the ad is trying to do to get your attention has nothing to do with the product. What even is... And I don't remember what any of the fucking products were. It's like, everything was so bizarre, nothing stood out. The only thing that stood out was the Ozempic ad. And yet she just popped in to make sure that I mentioned it. Because what happened was, like, they were just, like, doing this ad with, like, these happy people talking about how happy they were. And she just, like, leaned over and be like, try Ozempic. Neither of us had seen this ad before. Like we said, we have no ads in our life or whatever, but it was an Ozempic ad. So like she just burst out laughing in this theater full of people that were like absolutely silent at that point. Everybody's like looking at us being like, what the fuck is going on up there? Because she called that it was an Ozempic ad when we had no idea. And it was fucking hilarious. Like that was one of the best parts of the movie was her nailing the fact that it was an Ozempic ad. But yeah, no, like all of the ads were bizarre and we remember none of them. So that was the 90s advertisements, is make yourself bizarre so you stand out. But now it is piss off the transphobes or the anti-LGBTQ bigots, and they will do the advertising for you. They will do the viral marketing for you. And on top of that, like they'll buy stuff to burn, but the ones that already had it will then go out and buy stuff to replace the stuff that they burned. And
yeah.
So companies are doing it on purpose now. So it's like back to we're all NPCs because we have the same opinions as corporations. It's like, no, corporations have realized that they piss you guys off. You guys go burn your shit and then you go buy new shit.
It makes them so long as dollars are leaving your hand, they don't care. They don't really care. I forget there was a game that released at some point and a whole bunch of people did get mad about it, and one of the game devs or one of the people who was in charge of marketing, I don't remember which one, mentioned how like right-wing bigots got angry about their game, and they were excited about that. They were like, you mean we're gonna get free advertising? Free marketing? Oh my god, yes. So they started like actually stoking the flames a little bit on it.
Absolutely.
To get more money.
Yeah, if you get 1 million moms to start a petition against you, you got it made.
Yeah, that's 1 million. Sorry,
No, it's 4,000.
It's like
4,000.
It's a few thousand eyes. 1 million moms.
They have 4,000 followers, but like, there's always news articles about like, hey, this group called 1 million moms just made a stink about this thing. And there's more than one TV show that I have watched specifically because I heard about it through 1 million moms. The new DuckTales is the prime example of that.
New DuckTales is really good.
It is really good. And 1 million moms put up a stink because there was a gay couple in it for like 2 seconds. And I was so disappointed at how little gay representation was in it. But what really tickled my fancy with that is that, like, in the same season that the gay couple showed up on screen for like 2 seconds, they also had Donald Duck in a trans mermaid tail, a trans-colored mermaid tail. And 1 million moms completely missed that. They did not say a word about that. And that actually caused me to look into it, and not quite canonically, but like only like one step removed from canonically, Donald Duck is trans. Because like Della Duck is his twin sister. They say that they are identical twins. Identical twins have the exact same genome, so they have to have the same genes, genetic makeup, but Donald's a guy. There are cartoons where Donald Duck lays eggs. Male ducks don't lay eggs.
Jeez.
Donald Duck is trans. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway, okay, that was it for the tweets.
That's why he's been able to keep a girlfriend for as long as he has. He knows everything she's going to like.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit reductionist.
Oh, I meant sexually.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more than just sex. Despite appearances, I do think
appearances.
I'm not all
there.
about the sex. I mean, my partner and I did have a long disagreement about the morality of paying rent via sex today.
I mean, there's a bunch of porns about it.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where and neither of us were really solid on our positions, I think, but like it's one of those like, yeah, there's this power imbalance, but like there's also an empowerment to it.
There's also a power imbalance in everything.
Yeah.
You sell your body for labor to a but then corporation.
She also she pointed out to me, it's like, okay, well, would you be willing to like pay rent by like with sex, even if there was a power imbalance? I'm like, yeah, you know, if it happened to me, I would probably be absolutely 100% okay with that. And it's like, so why would you take that autonomy away from other people? I'm like, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
but it still feels icky.
Oh, it certainly feels icky, and then you meet somebody who's into that, and then the conversation gets even weirder.
Well, I mean, this all stemmed from a joke about me being her sugar daddy, because I think like it wasn't in the latest ones, but like in some of the court documents, she's supposed to be paying me rent.
Okay, and
she did like twice, and then we joke that like, oh, she pays rent on her back. Ha 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 ha.
My God.
Like, but what if she really did? Like, would that be problematic? Yes, but also like,
yes, but no.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. And we had a bit of a disagreement, and this is one of those things where like we had a conversation about it, and it was just like, I love disagreeing with her. It's like you just like, I don't know. You learn to think about things in ways that you didn't necessarily think about them before when you have a disagreement with someone, especially someone that you care deeply about. Because like, I know that she's not entering into like, she doesn't have the opinions that she holds lightly. So like, if she has an opinion that I disagree with, she's got good reason for it. She's not an idiot. She's a very smart person. So like, let's have a conversation about it. And it's great. Anyway. So, yeah, I guess I should let you go to sleep now.
I mean, I'm still going to have to do more topics.
Okay.
But
well,
yeah.
I'll let you be done with me. And then
I'm gonna pause the stream
yeah,
for a couple minutes after this.
Speaking of disagreeing with my partner, she's trying to make me fat. She bought me like 3 bags of chips, so I got some chips to eat.
I have consumed 2,100 calories today. I cannot consume more food.
2,100 is respectable. That's a good.
It's supposed to be 1,700. But I wanted a Pop-Tart.
I mean, 2,000 is the standard, right?
2,000's the standard, but I'm
know,
trying
like,
to.
Yeah, I know you're on your health journey. I've also been going to the gym. Like, I've been hitting the gym. I'm at the stage where like nothing has actually changed about me physically, but I'm going frequently enough that like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, that's a muscle. Yeah. Like, I know it looks exactly the same as before I worked out, but like, yeah.
But now you've got it.
And it's like, yeah, I know. Like, back of my brain is like, you're such an idiot.
Alpha Mario says exercise the chips out. Doesn't work like that, Alpha Mario.
I mean,
it does not work like that.
It kind of does.
It kind of, sort of, but then this funny thing happens where as you're removing calories from your body, which takes a lot longer to do than consuming them, you then get more tired and more hungry. So you then consume more calories. Like God, that's also why I'm probably sleepy. So normally when I come home from the gym and then get ready to stream, I start by coming home, taking a nap, and then getting up from the nap and then streaming. Because my brain for years was conditioned that you wake up, you go to work, and then you get home and you relax. Like that's the pattern of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm operating with none of that right now. I woke up, I did a couple Magic the Gathering videos, I made breakfast, did food prep, went to the gym, and now I'm here. The break I'm supposed to have didn't happen.
Yeah. No. I don't know. I hit the gym at weird times. I have a Planet Fitness membership. They're theoretically open 24 hours. The one in Fort Erie, I understand, like, it's a small town. They can't sustain 24 hours. So, like, they close at night on the weekends, but, like, during the week, they're open 24 hours?
That's the way all of them are.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well,
that's the way mine are as well.
They kicked me out on a Friday because I went on a Friday night. I didn't even check their hours. I'm just like, oh, surely it's a Friday night. They're going to be busy or whatever. So, of course, they'll be open 24 hours on a Friday. Nope, they kicked me out like halfway through my workout.
Nope. It's Friday and Saturday.
It's 10 o'clock. You got to leave. I'm like, what do you mean I got to leave? Aren't you open 24 hours? No. Like,
yeah,
why not? It's Friday night. But apparently I'm weird and, you know, people like do social things on Friday nights instead of go to the gym.
Yeah, although, I go to the card shop.
The people that go to the gym socially are just weird to me. Like there are like 3 or 4 people that like, it doesn't matter what time I go to the gym, they're there. And they're always and they're in like groups of their friends or whatever. And their friends are like they'll go sit on one of the machines and their friends will like sit around them, blocking access to the machines that are all around them. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Does your Planet Fitness have the 30-minute workout room?
It does.
Do the people camp on those machines too?
No, almost nobody uses that machine except for the leg curls, I think it is, because the machines are like the leg curl machines are always out of order in the main gym area. So anyone that wants to use that one has to go to the 30-minute workout area.
So at my gym, people constantly camp on the machines in the 30-minute workout area. And the thing is, if I'm not doing cardio, I'm doing the 30-minute workout. I want to do the high intensity thing because it keeps my brain occupied. That's the main thing, is that it's a structured regimen. I go in on one side, I end up on the other side. I know exactly how much time it's going to take. It's very easy to plan my day around having that exercise as part of it. I know how long it takes me to shower when I get home. I know how long it takes me to do that workout. It's all I want to do when I go to the gym. I go to the gym and there's 3 people camped on machines and I'm like, this is fine. I'll do the machine on the far left and then they'll rotate. No one ever rotates. No one ever rotates. Yeah. We got a sign in front that says, please do not fucking camp these machines. And people sit there with their cell phones, just taking pictures, doing Instagram reels. And I'm just like, you're not even working out. You're just sitting on the fucking machine. It's all you're doing. You're using Instagram to make everybody look like you're doing it.
It's a judgment-free zone, sir. Let's leave them alone.
No, I'm judging them. I'm judging all of them because they are ruining everyone's workouts.
So we actually had a conversation with my oldest child who so they are autistic. And they have issues where they will try and control other people to make the other people accommodate their needs for autism, which to a certain extent is fine. Like, yeah, absolutely. We will make accommodations for you. So you, like, if you got chores you need doing and you can't do them the same way as everybody else, fine. Sure. We will make accommodations to make sure that you can do them. But there will be things like, oh, well, my brother was whistling and it bothered me. So I yelled at him. Like, okay, no, sometimes people will whistle in life and you just gotta deal with that shit.
You know
like,
what?
That's fine. You can't make other people conform to that. And the example we used was like, that was also the night that, like, when I was at the gym, there were two separate groups of like 6 guys that were doing that thing where like one of them would be on the machine and the other ones would be like standing around it blocking access to all the surrounding machines. So there were like, at any given moment, there were like 8 to 12 machines completely inaccessible because all these guys were just standing around them, not using them, but like watching the one guy that was using the one machine. It's like, no, don't do that. Use the machine, or like, I get there's the rest period in between. That's fine. I get that. Sometimes, and some people like get up and walk around during that rest period. Fine. I get it. You can like leave your water bottle on the machine to claim that machine because like you're in your rest period. Fine. I get that. You don't need 6 people with you to do that.
No, you don't.
Like, if they're all using the machines, that's fine. But like, I want to use that machine, but now I can't get it because like I got to like walk through the middle of your fucking intimate friend group. And so like we actually use that as the example of like, yeah, no, like that really bothers me. I can't make them not do that. I have to adjust myself.
That's why you get the earplugs. There's a set of earplugs that filter out white noise, basically, when you're out and about. It makes it to where, like, anything you're focusing on sounds a little more amplified, and anything that you would typically not focus on kind of dims down a little bit. I don't remember exactly how the technology behind it works.
The
but
loops ones?
The ones we have are, I think they're called eargasms. But a friend of mine, Martin, had a pair of them and recommended them to us. We got a pair of them, and they have this strange filtration sound.
Palace.
Like they have
is saying they like loops. So I bought my oldest loops. They lost them within 3 months. And I'm like, those are way too expensive for me to buy them for you every time. Like, nope.